So after 12 amazing months, one new handheld console and more episodes of Access TV than we care to count, that was 2012. We're minutes away from slipping into an elf onesie and getting our Christmas on, 13 minutes to be exact, which gives us just enough time to race through the year that was on PlayStation. January was quiet, too quiet you might say if you were stuck in a low-rent survival horror. A low-rent survival horror like Amy, which alongside level-flipping Drip-em-up Puddle was the only game to be released for the whole month. The reason presumably being that February was about to turn up and looked even from quite far away like it was going to be one of the biggest months of the year, what with mad head-rolling shooter Never Dead, slick beat-em-up Soul Calibur 5 featuring Deadly Shampoo Ad Mitsurugi and Final Fantasy 13-2 all arriving in the first week. That left plenty of time for lunatic girlfriend Psycho Horror Catherine, supernatural shooter The Darkness 2, great in a pulpy, extraordinarily red way, thundering car park of doom Twisted Metal, Grand Slam Tennis 2 and Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning to hit PS3 before the month's main event, the arrival of PlayStation Vita. Our cameras caught the midnight madness of the handheld launch, before our hands and eyes got stuck into the first wave of games, including Little Big Nathan Drake Adventure Uncharted Golden Abyss, the 1,000 squidgy deaths of Escape Plan, and the effortlessly sleek Wipeout 2048, which we still love despite the trouncing we received at the hands of Zero-G pilot Amy Nakajima. Secretly though, the PS Vita title we like best of all was pre-order freebie Frobisher Says, which demonstrated the handheld's impressive range of functions through the demented commands of a sneering bow-tied man-child. And as if that wasn't enough, we saw February out with the twin sci-fi dystopias of Syndicate and Binary Domain, both offering dark visions of mankind's heavily robotic future, although to our minds Binary Domain came out on top thanks to the inclusion of a command system which let you shout at the telly.
Kane.
What is the matter?
Shoot that massive robot.
Please, wait a moment!
Fire!
Okay!
March saw sporting comebacks for SSX, which our snowboarding knowledge allows us to expertly describe as literally full of snow, and FIFA Street, a reboot full of changes, the biggest of which being that it wasn't rubbish anymore. Also not rubbish was the mighty Mass Effect 3, in which Commander Shepard saved humanity but was powerless to stop an army of superfans oblivious to reality from demanding a new ending to a game that had already been released. Meanwhile, PlayStation Vita went from strength to strength with the arrival of snappy army shooter Unit 13. PS3 welcomed the beautiful, understated exploration of Journey, the first of the year's many downloadable triumphs, and Ridge Racer Unbounded proved that, yes, unbounded really is a word, and that driving through walls is still really fun. We threw fireballs at the Mishima family in beat-em-up crossover Street Fighter Cross Tekken, ignored the cries of the week in Ninja Gaiden 3, and were unsettled by the ominous energy emitted by the infant version of Tiger Woods in his latest golf update. Things were improved dramatically as we rubbed shoulders with industry stars, gaming celebs, and the Saturdays at the BAFTA Game Awards. And just in case things got too glamorous, a wave of horror arrived in the form of Yakuza Dead Souls, Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, and Silent Hill Downpour, featuring this moving moment of stabbing a naked fat guy in the showers. By the time April rolled around, we'd been waiting for grim PSN survivor I Am Alive for so long that its title had begun to seem like a first-of-the-month prank. But it finally turned up and won a place in our hearts with the ability to do surprise attacks with a rusty machete. Aww. With stabbing people fast becoming the theme of 2012, Prototype 2, very much the mutated Olympic Games of stabbing, proved to be the month's blockbuster highlight, ably assisted by UEFA Euro 2012 and the Devil May Cry HD collection. While we were busy visiting Iceland to catch up with MMO shooter Dust 514 at E-Fest and trying to fit Warwick Davis in our bag at the opening of the Harry Potter studio tour, the first instalment of one of the year's finest games crept onto PSN in the shape of The Walking Dead Chapter 1. But what we'll always remember April for is the amazing effort of Superdad Julian Hill, who belted his way through a world record 24-hour SingStar marathon in aid of Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital to say thank you for taking care of his daughter Amelia. As spring turned majestically into summer, May was spent shooting men in the balls in slow motion, thanks to the sack-popping X-ray vision of Sniper Elite V2 and the self-destructive return of the saddest cop in the world in Max Payne 3. More wholesome fun was to be had in PlayStation Move's wand-waving adventure Sorcery, and a deeper world of magic was offered in sleeper RPG hit Dragon's Dogma. We went driving in honour of Dirt Showdown before Starhawk and Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier gave us a glimpse of what war would look like years from now. Basically invisible with lots of flying. While exclusive Doctor Who adventure The Eternity Clock didn't just go forwards in time but also backwards and for short periods also sideways. June was another big month for PS Vita, with the arrival of the handheld's first ever first-person shooter in the form of Resistance Burning Skies, a fine extension of the relentlessly bleak Alien Invasion series with a strong line in touchscreen axing. Alongside innovative action-adventure Gravity Rush, which had a toddler at a Rubik's Cube attitude to physics, as well as the Metal Gear Solid HD Collection. Ratchet & Clank added to the HD Collection, while Lollipop Chainsaw, Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes and Virtua Fighter Final Showdown, we promise this time, filled out an eclectic but relentlessly upbeat schedule. A schedule spoiled only by the introspective, moral-plucking sandiness of Spec Ops: The Line.
The local airborne insurgency has infiltrated the U.S. zone designated as my pants.
While the nation prepared for the unexpectedly uplifting London Olympics, the official games served to remind us all that you really can achieve your dreams if you have weirdly overdeveloped hammer fingers and a savant ability to time power bar charges to optimal milliseconds. But the month was really dominated by the biggest event of the gaming calendar, the monstrous E3 Expo in Los Angeles. Access was right there on the show floor with community presenter Joe Merrick.
I'm Joe Merrick, and this, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is E3.
The show had many themes, bows and arrows, lens flare, flash business cards, but nothing lit the place up like twin PlayStation exclusives The Last of Us, given a thumping meme-launching on-stage demo, and Heavy Rain follow-up Beyond Two Souls, which was announced at the PlayStation conference to whoops, cheers and astonished cries at the appearance of Ellen Page, and that was just us. After all that excitement, it was probably a good thing in a way we didn't realise while we were really bored at the time that July featured just 2 significant releases, both involving a good deal of physics jiggery pokery, gravity flipping shooter Inversion and the new game from Portal creator Kim Swift, Quantum Conundrum, which looked unsurprisingly like Portal but a bit different. The highlight of the month was our meet with UFC hardman George St Pierre, who took us for our very own training session and kindly didn't dislocate any of our important parts. The Georgie Gym session wasn't just a social call. GSP was involved in the combat design for open-world crime hit Sleeping Dogs, which arrived in August amid the standard claims of GTA cloning, none of which we could hear because we were too busy shredding faces on air vents, dancing on the freeway and staging impromptu sieges at doctors' surgeries. Also taking up our time was mythical hack-slash sequel Darksiders 2, which proved that death really wasn't such a bad chap after all, and Transformers Fall of Cybertron, which rather less surprisingly proved that we'd still like Optimus Prime to be our dad. Tales of Grace's F flew the flag for Japanese RPGs, and it was also a month of travels. The announcement of Star Wars 1313 led to a behind-the-scenes trip to Lucasfilm, and we rocked back to LA for SummerSlam with awesome community presenter Chris Fox. But the big event was Gamescom, which saw Access TV providing daily reports from the show floor with man of many voices Mark Humes.
Welcome to Gamescom. Colonel, I've infiltrated Gamescom. Ha! I was joking. I've got my Gamescom pass right here.
Before riding home in the name of industry charity GamesAid from Germany. Things got serious in September as the pre-Christmas crush began in earnest. FIFA 13 and PES 2013 paraded the world's best footballers on their covers as part of their annual hype-off. The surprise winner being Tokyo Jungle, the extreme Darwinism sim featuring packs of ruthless Pomeranians in post-apocalyptic Tokyo that we played instead. We also got furious with the end boss of Tekken Tag Tournament 2, didn't really understand anything that happened in Dead or Alive 5, fell in love with the ever-improving F1 2012, and built a warm place where nobody can hurt us in the newly portable Little Big Planet PlayStation Vita. Speaking of PS Vita, we also went behind the scenes on the set of the handheld's new ad campaign, and still had time to spend hours looking for the gun that really defines us as people in Borderlands 2, before dragging community presenter Marcus Beard to the Eurogamer Expo in London.
Hey Access fans, I'm your guest host Marcus Beard, and we're at Eurogamer 2012! Yay!
If February was huge, October was huger, packed with the year's mightiest AAA releases. Sneaky new sci-fi adventure Dishonored tore the place up with a mix of magic, stealth and turning into fish, which made total sense even though a big part of the game was listening to a heart tell you what to do. Assassin's Creed 3 met the challenge by climbing up a tree and jumping off again, while Medal of Honor Warfighter took a stand for descriptive game titles and shooting foreigners on sight. Need for Speed Most Wanted finally made all our Burnout Paradise pangs disappear. Resident Evil 6 made us hunger for human flesh, while 007 Legends was notable for this scream. Doom 3 BFG Edition was more fun if you forgot Doom 3 and played the mega old first two games instead, and paint-chucking downloadable The Unfinished Swan proved to be a thoughtful and touching way to waste loads of perfectly good black gloss. XCOM Enemy Unknown proved an unexpectedly emotional resurrection of an old classic, while PS Vita was well served with Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation and a perfect port of Most Wanted. The month finished off in style with the 30th Annual Golden Joystick Awards, where Stephen Fry turned up as a robot, and more importantly, PlayStation Vita's Uncharted Golden Abyss won Best Handheld Game of the Year. That's right, Drake, it's
Gold.
Gold! Always believe in this. Never gets old doing that. November continued the blockbuster onslaught with the biggest of them all, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, while COD also hit the PS Vita for the first time with Black Ops Declassified. Hitman Absolution saw the long-awaited return of Agent 47, which we celebrated with the saddest birthday party of all time, and open-world shooter Far Cry 3, which ranked high on the awesome meter thanks to air gliding, pirate shooting and hunting, but mostly because crocodiles! Epic Mickey 2, The Power of Two, conjured a world of forgotten tunes, Wonderbook Book of Spells conjured a world of interactive Hogwarts magic, and Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed battled it out with Little Big Planet Karting and F1 Race Stars for Best Arcade Kart Racer on PS3. WWE 13 brought us, and more specifically Kim, together with wrestler champ CM Punk. Ratchet & Clank returned with a tower defense twist in Q-Force, and just about everybody returned in frantic free-for-all PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, which saw a world of game heroes battering the heck out of each other for laughs, and also saw a special access live event in London to celebrate. Then suddenly everything went quiet again for December, when nothing stirred except a mouse, an HD remake of Munch's Odyssey for PS3, and the arrival of Stranger's Wrath on the PlayStation Vita. Oh, and you watched this video, for which we say a massive thank you. We hope your year has been as good as ours, and we'll see you for another one in a couple of weeks. Oh, and 55. That's the number of episodes of Access TV we made this year. That's earned a reindeer's body weight of biscuits, I think.